Really? Of all the times to debut that shirt?
What?
You know why. I am. You know what? Let's just start the show. This might be the last one. I'm just saying.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Okay, fine. It might be. Might be more.
It's gonna be okay.
No.
Oh my God! What the hell is this? He's gonna try it. And will this be enough? My God!
Welcome back to another episode of Ruckus Wrastlin. I'm Josh Maber alongside my about-to-be former tag team partner in this journey, Justin Toner. How we doing?
I'm fantastic. It's been a wild week. The Raw debut on Netflix, New Year's Evil. Got crowned new champions. We'll talk about that in a bit. Wait. Well, hold on a second. I'll scramble everything. What was it? Oh yeah, it's finally Tiffy time.
About damn time. We'll get into that too.
About damn time
as well. But yes, Raw finally debuted, the much awaited debut and the most anticipated debut on Netflix. And the ratings are in for also NXT, which hit their third best rating, I believe. But let's just talk about those ratings. And it's on Netflix. It's their first streaming live show that they've done, not counting PLEs, because we know they technically stream on Peacock. But as far as their live weekly episodic television shows that they do, this is the first one to stream exclusively on a streaming service. I believe, what was the number? Was it 2.5 or 3?
2.6 in the US, 4.9 million total globally.
Okay. Did they ever say what their goal was, or they just knew it was going to be big?
No, nothing about the exact what they were hoping to hit, but 2.6 million in just in the US alone is like almost double what they were getting on USA last year on average.
Gotcha. Yeah, because
like the average was like 1.2 in the ratings on USA this past year, according to the numbers.
To me right now, and we'll get into the Raw itself, I figured it would be a big number. I'm just afraid by about week 4, it's going to go back to the 1.5 that it was on USA. I hope it's
might. I think,
and I'm talking US. I'm not talking globally.
Yeah, like the US may go down a little bit, maybe just under 2, but it was obviously they were spiking because it was debut, so a lot of people were tuning in to see what's going on. And there's a lot of discourse online about, what was the aim of the show. It's like, it felt like I will get into it more of it. I felt like it was more of they were trying to get new people or lapsed fans to come back in, kind of show with all the legend and star power and all that stuff. But they still forwarded some stuff, so it's like I understand why some people are a little mixed on the show, but still the numbers. I think they have to be pretty happy. I mean, those are pretty strong numbers to start with. Especially if you add in the international viewers, it's like they almost had 5 million views. So it's like that's a lot.
It's the international numbers that why they're on Netflix and not another network television show. Also, the $5 billion doesn't hurt, but it's the global impact that Netflix provides that a typical USA network doesn't. Now, not to sit there and say that they're NBC, who's been their dude forever, but they probably pitched about streaming, but couldn't offer the $5 billion and the outreach because Peacock doesn't reach what Netflix reaches globally, as far as I know. So the only other thing that holds a candle to the overall like global, I think, is Amazon. I think Amazon's the only one that might reach global, but I don't think but there still doesn't. Netflix is the OG of streaming services. But I mean, I don't. I'm just listening to me talk off the top of my head.
And so they have to be pretty happy, I think, with that, and they definitely have to be happy about NXT's numbers because, according to Variety, NXT's New Year's Evil show this week pulled in just under 957,000. That's the best number they've had in years.
And we'll get into it.
And that's even better than their debut on the CW.
Yeah. And to me, and I was listening to a couple other podcasts about it, and they both kind of said the same thing. That is right now the most consistent, best, and we talk about it ad nauseum on here too. That is the best overall wrestling show, episodic wise, every week by week. As far as consistent.
I'll agree. Yeah.
Which is crazy to say.
The Rock, I think definitely The Rock.
The Rock definitely boosted the rating, but the show itself compared to
it was overall a really good show, and we'll get into that later.
And we'll get into it later, but that's just the one thing I want to say is like I think The Rock being there spiked it, but I think the product is going to keep people coming back, and I don't think that's the next time we're going to see them reach. I think they're just going to get a little bit better. I think they might be consistent in the 900,000, 850 range. Yeah. I think that is capable of doing it. The problem with NXT situation is because they're still running it as a developmental when it really isn't. It's just another brand.
Yeah.
It's just another wrestling show that we've talked about.
Yeah, the developmental's there, but it's like Triple H really wanted to be the third brand. I mean, like, why else did they do the whole back in 2020 Survivor Series where they had, instead of it just being Raw versus SmackDown, it was Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT, and NXT won. You know, it's like,
and that was one of my favorite Survivor Series as far as the OG version of it that I can remember, especially that Keith Lee Roman Reigns.
It was the best brand warfare edition of Survivor Series, I felt.
Yeah, because the Raw and SmackDown, because they go back and forth and they always wrestle each other, but when you add NXT to it, it just had a different element. And then
it was really about trying to boost NXT because it was going up against Dynamite on TV at the time, so it's like they really wanted to give NXT a boost.
Yep. And that was that roster at that time. Woo!
I mean, they even had Adam Cole defending the NXT title on the pay-per-view against Pete Dunne on Survivor Series. So it's like,
and obviously the emergence of Keith Lee, him and the Roman Reigns thing. I still go back and watch that, get a little goosebumps. And then he goes to the main roster, and Vince McMahon Bearcats his butt.
Yeah.
So or whatever, Bear Claw or Bearcat or whatever. I don't know, whatever it was terrible. But yeah, NXT doing that. And then other news, Malaki Black, which we kind of expected this for like the last 2 years since Triple H has really taken control. I know last year was kind of his full year of being in control. But ever since Vince McMahon went away, Triple H took over creative. And then even though Vince McMahon came back for a little bit and but in those, WrestleMania 30, leading up to WrestleMania 39 and 40, everyone was just like, all right, well, Malachi's going back. Like that is one of the OG Triple H dudes. And all the rumors are coming out that Malaki is leaving. Tony Khan presented him great as far as and how his storylines was.
At the beginning, it's like, but it's like over time. Also, he had a pretty rough back injury that laid him out for quite a while. But
that series with Edge,
it's not their moments. I mean, they tag champions. They had the trios titles.
The series with Edge.
They helped elevate Julia Hart. It's like with her heel turn when she went bad. That helped her out, and she's grown. But yeah, it definitely feels like for a while, especially in the last year, that the House of Black wasn't like a priority. Like they would kind of like get the occasional storyline thing, like the feud with Adam Copeland, whatever you want to call him.
Edge. His name is Edge. Okay. Yeah. I know you can't call him that on AEW for legal reasons, but on here we're not going to get sued. His name is Edge.
But I always felt that eventually he would go back because Triple H was always very high on him. in NXT, and you saw that the way he was pushing NXT. So he probably feels that maybe he'd get a good creative boost again by going back, and also his wife is over there,
right?
Is Zelina Vega. So I'm sure that they would love to be able to travel and work together again. It's like but they make it work. I mean, like Andrade and Charlotte made it work when Andrade had his AEW stint before he came back. So
when you're not happy, your spouse is going to they're going to support you whatever decision you make.
Yeah.
So we all understood that.
Mm-hmm.
Now the door is open for as kind of going back to his old gimmick, but
it's just going to be careful. It's like because like they're going to be careful about who they decide they want to come back in because they got so much roster is so vast now. It's like someone can get lost in the shuffle.
And that was kind of my question with all of this. It's like, yeah, he's Triple H's dude, but Andrade came back and it took him a while to figure it out.
Yeah, it feels like they're probably starting to get Deuce actually use Andrade very well, and it took like a year. So it's like
yeah. And so Alistair, it's like you already have the Wyatts, and the Wyatts are still kind of just there.
Mm-hmm.
As far as his type of character he is, but I mean, the way he approaches things and stuff, he could definitely
Melo's had a slow burn on the roster this past year.
Yeah, it's like Melo's. I'm loving what they're doing with Melo.
It's like they're starting to get there with him with the character stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, but it's I mean, not Malaki anymore. It'd be Alistair when he comes back. But I mean, just Alistair, and I don't know why, but just my
or
first.
They can have him go back down to NXT first for a bit. And it's like they have main roster talent isn't afraid to go everywhere. I mean, Shotzi made a return in NXT. She didn't go back because she's been on the main roster for a while. She didn't go back. She didn't return on the main roster. She's working NXT right now after she just got back from injury. So it's like,
but I understand that because Shotzi just always seemed like they're pushing a square peg through a round hole with her when she was on the main roster because they kept pushing her in these places and it didn't feel like I was buying into it
for a while. Yeah, but before she got injured at the end of 2023. Things were going. It's like she was definitely getting pushed up the card. She was on the War Games team with Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair that year.
Oh yeah, I mean,
it's like that. It's like you don't get higher than that. She's like she got to be on the War Games team with those three.
She's a great worker, but I'm love what they're doing now. Again, we'll get to it on NXT, but
yeah, and so it felt like she was finally starting to get a good push before she got injured in that match with Lyra on NXT. In December of 23.
Shotzi, just whatever you do, don't go back to the short hair spike haircut. I'd never.
I like your current pigtail.
Yeah,
you got going on right now.
I have they anyway. We'll get into.
Plus, also we'll get into more, but I like her being paired with Gigi Dolan and Tatum Paxley. It works. Their characters they gel together.
So Alistair Black's gonna Alistair's gonna debut. Who's gonna do? I don't know. He's probably gonna. They're probably gonna have Chad Gable job to him too, like he's about to do with Penta.
Yeah,
that is, I don't know. Chad is
there's potential positives and also potential negatives if he decides that he wants to go back to WWE. We'll see. This is all, and it's like it hasn't been 100% confirmed, but that's what the scuttlebutt that Sapp and others are hearing right now.
Yeah.
And also we'll talk about what the whole thing between Ospreay and Buddy on Dynamite kind of led creep. That's when people actually were like, because it's like the way he was talking doesn't sound like Malachi's going to be around for much longer. So it's like we're here.
No. Was it? Yeah, it was Ospreay and Brody King, right?
No, Ospreay and Buddy Matthews.
Buddy Matthews. Okay. Real quick, speaking about Brody King. Real quick run through. Did you check any of the highlights of New Japan?
I did check out some of the stuff from not Wrestle Kingdom, but I did check out some of the matches from Wrestle Dynasty when it aired. It aired pretty late on that Saturday night, but I'm a late owl, so so I stayed up and I caught some of the stuff. The Brody King, the match Brody King had with Finley was dope. The Mercedes Mina Shirakawa match was great. Mercedes is now in belt collector mode. She's got like 4
I
titles
saw that. She looked like Kenny Omega or the Dudleys. Remember the Dudleys and all their titles that they had at one point?
Mm-hmm. And excuse me.
You're good.
I didn't see all of the. I saw some footage of the main event, which was Zack Sabre Jr. defending New Japan's heavyweight title against Ricochet. But I did see the entirety of Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. That was dope.
Okay, so for the viewers that don't know, I've been looking at this Gabe Kidd dude for last 6 months
impressed.
or so.
I'd never seen Gabe Kidd before. I was impressed.
Now, granted, was that mano a mano, or was that Kenny? Because sometimes you can tell, like Batista Triple H that first time around, it was a great match, but it was Triple H carrying Batista, or the Bret Hart carrying British Bulldog. Even though we go back to that match and watch.
Okay, did Kenny carry him? I don't think he carried him. I think it was like he's definitely good, but Kenny, it's like I was like watching. I'm like, I didn't see I'm like, he's got no ring rust. Holy shit. He looked great.
Yeah.
So that's great for him and great for AEW. So yeah, there was some good stuff on that show.
And the thing with Gabe Kidd, because the thing is he's so good personality wise and his charisma and stuff like that. But I worry is like all right, after you leave New Japan, you're gonna get paid because he's earning his paychecks right now.
Oh yeah,
for what he's doing. So he's gonna get some feelers out for WWE and AEW. But we've all seen this song and dance. Gabe Kidd's gonna go to AEW, be really cool for 2 weeks, and then Tony Khan's gonna mismanage him. And then he's gonna be good for another 2 weeks. He's gonna mismanage him again. Or he goes to NXT and does well, then goes to the main roster, or he goes straight to the main roster. It's just like, what are you gonna do with him? Like he's one of those wrestlers that is destined, it deserves his money and deserves his paycheck, but I don't know where you put him in the AEW, or because they're going to mismanage him in AEW until you tell me differently. And there's so much going on with WWE. I don't know what you do with him other than put him in the mid card. You just type of thing. Like that's what I worry about a Gabe Kidd type of wrestler. Now, granted, I've only kept up with him for 6 months. What I can tell you right now is the dude is electric on the mic.
Yeah.
He has a presence about him. He's a brute. He's kind of like a Moxley as far as his wrestling style. He's very strong style brute type of thing, but his look is he doesn't stick out. So that's my worry with Gabe. Like, what would you do with Gabe? What would you do if you were booking Gabe? Would you I would put him in NXT. Honestly,
I would probably put him in NXT just because I've only seen the one match. So he's definitely got some serious potential.
Oh yeah.
So he just needs a little more. He just definitely needs some seasoning experience for sure.
Yeah. And did you check any of the Finlay match?
Yeah, the one with Brody King. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was quite the hard hitting match.
Yeah,
I picked and choose what I would. It's like because I don't follow New Japan very closely. I just wanted to check out like the big ones that like the AEW. I watched the 4-way on the pre-show for the Cup that had Willow and Athena. They had Athena job in that match. She hasn't been pinned in 2 years. I was like shocked that she's the one who took the pinfall to. It was the New Japan talent who won that match.
Well, I mean,
unless it's building towards something in ROH, I don't know, but that was kind of shocking.
You've been wanting her to get pinned. She's still going to lose the title, but you've been wanting her to lose. There you go. The other one, I would say, did you see the Shibata pop that he got?
No, I heard that Tanahashi just had like a chop for 5 minutes.
Yeah, it was, and like he came back and like saved Tanahashi. And then from, I forget what the stable's called, but Evil, I know that's the wrestler, his name. And because it's like they're like the subgroup of Bullet Club. I don't know.
They're kind of like offshoot of Bullet Club.
Oh, offshoot of Bullet Club. But It was cool, and like him wearing the AEW stuff, and like he took his hood off, and one was like, and people went nuts.
I didn't
for
watch
Japan.
the Young Bucks win the IWP.
Who did they win it over? I didn't even know who they won.
I don't know. I can't remember. I can't tell you.
I didn't research that. Oh well. But yeah, no, that Gabe Kid and Kenny Omega match. I'm just like, gosh, Kenny is just there's a different breed of wrestlers that that you just know that you're just you're a god tier. There's an S tier, as they would say when you're ranking things, and the Ospreay, Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, AJ Styles, I would put as an S tier type of worker because they can make anything turn into gold. Gunther, I think, is S tier now.
Gunther's been S tier for a long time.
Yeah. Swerve is almost there. He's
almost there. Ospreay's there.
Ospreay's the best in the world. But I forgot. I was like, man, Ospreay's the best in the world. And then here comes Kenny Omega after like going through diverticulitis. I'm like, I would
put Seth in there because he's barely capable of having a bad match anymore.
Right. Sammy is right there ever since his Jackass match. You talk about carrying a match. Sammy is I was more impressed with Sammy during that match.
Oh yeah, when he fought
Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, why am I like engaged?
That match was better than it had any right to be. That was
I remember messaging you too. I was like, is this? Did I watch the right match? This was really fun. And you were like, yeah I'm weird. I'm freaking out. You're like, I don't know how to feel about it either because I think it was really good too. I was like, yeah, it was.
So I was expecting it to not be good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, no, it was just wonder if you check that out on that. Any other big news? I know. Oh, Saturday night's main event is coming back real soon.
Yep, we'll be back on the 25th in San Antonio. The only two other small little bits is the reason Braun Strowman hasn't been on TV lately is because he came down with a bad case of the flu. So bad he lost. He says he lost 36 pounds. So that tells you how bad it was.
Yeah. Bronson Reed. Did you see his update? He's hurt, guys. He's gonna miss Mania.
Yeah, he's probably not gonna be back until SummerSlam.
You're right, which sucks because man, he was on a heater.
It's like he broke at. It's like the way you described it. It's like it's not good. He's not gonna be back until after Mania.
Yeah. When I saw that tweet, I was like, man. Dude was on a...
And congrats to Ronda Rousey. She just had her second child.
Oh, congrats on that.
Yep.
Awesome. There. Any other news before we move on to Tiffy time? I mean, SmackDown?
No, let's get to SmackDown. We got to talk about the cash in.
Yeah, because that's pretty much all that happened.
All right, as a recap, what happened on last week's episode of Friday SmackDown. SmackDown going to 3 hours for the time being. Show opened Cody Rhodes cutting a promo on Kevin Owens. He was interrupted by Drew McIntyre, all people. Came out and gave him a hug. Told him he was here to help him. Tried to hook up advice. Cody was skeptical about trusting him, and they went back and forth. Eventually, Drew said, you should watch your back. And as soon as he said that, Kevin Owens attacked him. Drew did not do anything to intervene, and they brawled before rest of security broke them up. Then we had Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Andrade in a non-title match. Shinsuke won with the Kinshasa. After the match, LA Knight ran in to attack him, said he's coming for the U.S. title, and they have a rematch for the title next week. Pretty Deadly's in back with Apollo Crews. When Legado came in, Legado was happy with Pretty Deadly lying about them attacking the Street Profits last week. Things get physical. Nick Aldis comes in to have a chat with them. DIY comes and says that Pretty Deadly helped them against more shenanigans tonight. Then we had Michin taking on Parker Niven. Michin picked up victory with Eat Defeat. Paul Heyman came out to cut a promo about Tribal Combat on Raw. Solo came out and told Heyman that he wanted him to hold the Ula Fala during the match, and that when he beats Roman Reigns, that he will crown him and acknowledge him and be his wise man forever. Then we had a rematch for the WWE Tag Team titles, DIY defending against Motor Machine Guns. Eventually, Pretty Deadly got involved, so they got off Fantasma, and eventually that caused a disqualification, allowing DIY to retain the titles. Machine Gun's not happy. Nia Jax is worried that Tiffany isn't there. She doesn't know where she is. Candice LeRae told her not to worry. She's there for her. Sami Zayn and Carmelo Hayes had words in the back. Both Jimmy Jey Uso ran into Kevin Owens, who told Jey Uso to watch his back. Cody Rhodes said to Nick Aldis that if he sees Kevin Owens, he's going to drop his ass on sight. Then we had a WWE Women's Championship match, Nia Jax defending against Naomi. This is another great match between these two. Tiffany came out, looked like she was going to cash in the briefcase, but then she whacked Naomi in the head with it when the ref was distracted, and that allowed Nia to hit her with the Annihilator to win and retain the championship. After the match, Tiffany told Nia to go after Bianca and Naomi some more, and when she did, Tiffany whacked her in the head with the briefcase to a big pop. She then took out Candice LeRae. Bianca took advantage and gave Nia a KOD. Tiffany took Bianca out of the equation, and the fans went nuts as she officially cashed in finally on Nia Jax with her Money in the Bank briefcase. She went up, hit the prettiest moonsault, 1, 2, 3, and Tiffany Stratton is the new WWE Women's Champion. It is finally Tiffy time at last. Thank God. Then we had the main event match. The Bloodline taking on Sami Zayn and the Usos in a 6-man tag. Drew McIntyre, Ortiz getting involved, but Jay went after him. But Jay ended up getting a hit with a Samoan Spike from Solo and pinned to give the Solo, Jacob Fatu, and Tama Tonga the victory, close out the show. So that's all that happened on last week's episode of SmackDown.
Yeah. All right. I do have a problem with her winning.
Okay.
It wasn't last.
I wish it had been the main event. Yeah. That would have been
Do you
great.
think that was the thing I was going to ask you? I'm like, that was an odd booking decision because it's a title match. It's not like it wasn't just like a random like Nia versus whatever.
That would have been the main event.
Yeah.
But they wanted the blood because the bloodline. So they had to have the bloodline go on last.
Yeah.
But still, I liked how they booked this because I was all like, not again.
Yeah.
But
it was booked really well.
She whacked Nia when she had her back turned, and I was like, God, yeah, she's gonna do it. It's like I marked out like a lot of people.
Yeah.
I was like, do it. I was like literally chanting, do it.
Yeah. I was the whole time I was watching. I was like, Justin, she's gonna do it, Justin.
I was hoping because like even Geff in the Discord was like, I think she's gonna cash in tonight, man. I'm like, please let it happen.
Yeah. So yeah, that it's obviously all pun intended. It's about damn time. Because honestly, I'm glad she cashed in, but this had to have been the worst run for Miss Money in the Bank I've ever seen.
It's like, yeah, I don't like the fact that she didn't.
She was dropping all the time. She flirted cashing in every 2 seconds.
But yes, as you saw for the reaction, it paid off because the fans went nuts.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that because we've seen
they've been wanting Tiffany to win the title for some time. They've been wanting her to cash in and take the title off Nia Jax for some time, and it finally happened.
Because we've seen other like build, people are tired of it, but the payoff, and when finally payoff comes, they're still like, yeah, we don't care. Adam Cole, MJF. But this, it was irritating as hell, but people were finally just like, yes, it's about like because they
Now we
wanted
can
her
move
to
forward.
get it so bad. Now we can move forward. Yeah, it was more
Now
of like
she's got to deal with a very angry Nia Jax going to want
Yeah.
to destroy her. So
yeah, and Candice LeRae still has stuff to do.
Yep.
Anytime you give my girl Candice stuff
I
to
was
do,
going to be mad at Candice because Candice failed to stop Tiffany from doing the catch.
Right. No, and so I am looking
Also,
forward to
props to the EST for that KOD on Nia Jax. Holy shit!
Yeah, she got that. She's strong.
Bianca Belair is a freak of nature in a good way. That's why she's as popular as she is. Why she's good as she is.
Dude, Jordan Grace and Bianca is gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. They kind of teased it when in the Royal Rumble last year.
Against Rhea. Jordan Grace against Rhea will be a
right. I mean, any of the strong women,
Yeah. Absolutely.
On that. Now, one thing what I'm kind of just really impressed with is the mid-card United States.
Yeah.
What they're doing, because they're highlighting solid workers who are putting on solid work, but also making the title mean something.
Yeah.
So I'm really enjoying it. Like we were talking about, alluding to during our news segment with Andrade, they finally found their footing with him. I know he didn't win tonight, but it's like it's Nakamura. You haven't done shit with Nakamura in like a decade, it feels like, and he's finally doing his Sith Lord Nakamura stick, and it's really working. But LA Knight, hey guys, LA Knight's still over.
Yeah, thank God.
So I'm really enjoying that mid card. I don't know what your thoughts are on
that. I know. I'm digging it. I'm liking that they're presenting Nakamura as like being really dangerous. It's like I like this as people have dubbed it, Sith Lord Nakamura. I dig it.
Yeah. Michin's still get another win.
Yeah, looks like she's going to get a rematch with Chelsea for the title. Yep. Maybe, if not, maybe at the next Saturday night's main event, most likely, unless they do it on the weekly show. We'll see.
Okay.
So it's like their feud is not over. How are you feeling with all the intrigue in the tag division with DIY, like basically using Pretty Deadly as proxies to do dirty work, and they got everybody else in the division all pissed off? I'm kind of digging it because
I like it
because it's got all the teams involved,
right? And it makes sense because Pretty Deadly is always just out there trying.
When the Street Profits come back for their payback, they're gonna want to kill DIY.
I'm just saying, when that ladder match happens, that I've been saying for since Motor City got there, and then since Motor City got there, and with DIY, and with obviously with they would have had the Bloodline be involved with that.
Yeah.
But then Tonga Loa got hurt.
Yeah, Tonga Loa got was it Taurus Peck or bicep?
Right. And there's more going on with Jacob and Tama Tonga, because that was supposed to be Tonga Loa.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because they're gonna have it's like Soul better watch out.
Yeah. You had a good run.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I just want that. It's going to be the ladder match. It's always what happens when you want to really put a button on a great tag division. You do a ladder match for the titles.
Yeah, I like that they're getting all the teams involved in this. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on, and I like it. And more Machine Guns are going to be more pissed. Now they're going to be more pissed at both Legato and Pretty Deadly because they completely fucked up their rematch against DIY.
Yeah, so I
love Johnny Gargano being the mastermind, where it's like they're manipulating Pretty Deadly into doing their dirty work.
It's so crazy of how like Sammy fought against the Bloodline, and now he just like fit right back in like a glove.
Yeah,
like now, like I know the War Game stuff happened, but you can just tell, especially when we'll get into Raw and everything. But it's Sammy is just a full on OG Bloodline now. Like, it wasn't just a one-off at this point.
Well, he was part of that storyline for so long. It's like... Also, my boy Drew McIntyre, I want him on SmackDown. After that interaction, Cody, I want Drew versus Cody feud this year. Give it to me. I love how they tease that. and maybe him and KO may end up working together. That would be something. They definitely teased it.
So shout out to Wrestle Talk. I know I shout him out all the time on here, but Ollie Davis basically said they should name, if the Kevin Owens, Drew McIntyre, and Seth Rollins become a faction, they should call it Sword, not Shield.
And that's lame.
And that's lame as hell.
It's lame.
And they shouldn't be the NWO either, guys. Whoever put that out there, stop it.
No. NWO is dead. Let it go.
Yeah.
So NWO is the past. Let it go.
Right. And after, and we'll get into it here in a second with Raw.
I love how he's like, but I'm here to help you, Cody. I want. It's like I'm trying to open your eyes. It's like if she hadn't won this week, I'd be wearing a Drew McIntyre shirt again this week. But it's like this. I've been wanting to wear this for a while. I was waiting for the right occasion. But no, that was all great. Main event was fine. So, even though this was the first 3-hour SmackDown, didn't feel like it dragged. A lot of interesting stuff happened. Tiffany cash-in was the highlight of the night for sure. Yeah. That was well executed, and it's Tiffy time. So I think we can. I'm not going to be shocked if it's going to be Tiffany versus Charlotte at Mania, because that's a money match. That's a Mania match.
Yeah, because you know who's going after Rhea again.
Well, the only two people I see that could challenge Rhea at Mania that would make sense would be a rematch with Becky when she returns, or Io. Because remember that when before Io got her shot at Saturday Night's Main Event, her and Rhea both picked up the towel at the same time and looked at each other. That they didn't do that for nothing.
No. Or has Rhea ever beat Roxanne?
She hasn't even wrestled Roxanne.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Rhea hasn't even know what it's like to be a good wrestler. She didn't even know.
She doesn't know how dangerous the Prodigy is.
No, don't know. You think she's small? Just get in the ring with her. And when she gives you that 1, 2, 3, land on your back, look at the stars. Mm-hmm. She's not, and standing tall and standing over you. She's not gonna be so short, is she?
Right.
No, she's not. Fucking Julia. All right, let's move on to Raw.
Beautiful madness.
Yeah.
All right, here's a recap what happened on Monday Night Raw. Now on Netflix as of this Monday, it's big debut on the streaming service. We got a special video narrated by Triple H about the history of wrestling in WWE leading up to now. He was out there in the middle of the ring hyping up the crowd. Then The Rock came out, hyped up the crowd, gave props to Cody Rhodes, put over the Tribal Combat match, which was the opening match. Tribal Combat under no rules. Roman Reigns to Sol Sikoa. Winner is the undisputed Tribal Chief. As you expect, there was a lot of shenanigans. Jacob Fatu Tamataka got involved. That brought out Sami Zayn and Jimmy Uso to counter them. They brawled. Kevin Owens came in and hit a stunner on Reigns, and Solo got like a 2.5 off that. Cody came out to attack KO, took him out. Eventually, Reigns hit the spear and finally pinned Solo to win the match, and is now the one and only Tribal Chief and has the Ulu follow back. Heyman was going to give it to him, but The Rock came out and gave it to him instead. A lot of celebrities and wrestlers were at ringside. They were spotlighted all during the show. They announced the Rumble as it will be in Saudi Arabia in 2026 next year. John Cena came out to kick off his farewell tour into retirement at the end of this year. He talked about how he doesn't, as much as he would like to get the 17th World Championship, he doesn't think he deserves it because he hasn't won a singles match in quite some time. But then getting the crowd into it, he decided that maybe the best way to do it was to win the Royal Rumble. And so he declared himself the Royal Rumble and said he's going to win it and get his title shot at WrestleMania. Then we had Women's World Championship. Liv Morgan defending against Rhea Ripley. Rhea finally won the title back, becoming the champion again with the Riptide, despite all kinds of shenanigans from at ringside from Dominic and Raquel Rodriguez. Dominic tried to make up with Ripley, but she gave him a low blow and finally hit him with the Riptide to delight the crowd. Before she left, Undertaker came out to pay tribute to her, and they did the raised fist pose together. Chad Gable and American Made were complaining to Adam Pearce. Chad Gable wants real competition, told him to find him the best luchador, and Pearce said he had someone perfect in mind and would make a phone call. Say hello to Penta next week, Chad. Another vignette aired for him as well, making it clear that it is Penta that is going to be coming. Then we had Drew McIntyre with Jey Uso. Jey Uso picked up a shocking victory with a crucifix for the upset. Video hyping Gunther being world champion was aired. Gabriel Iglesias got into it a New Day and told them they suck. Hulk Hogan came out to pump with the crowd and promote his beer, which WWE is shilling, but he got booed out of the building. Fans didn't want to see him. So finally, we got to the main event. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. Fans were hyped for this one. This was like a pay-per-view level match. All kinds of great stuff. In the end, Punk hit not one but two go-to-sleeps back-to-back to put Seth down and pick out the victory. And CM Punk stood tall celebrating as Seth Rollins was very dejected from losing to close out the very first Monday Night Raw on Netflix. Oh, man, so much to talk about in this show. Oh, God.
Yeah. All right, let me
with the good or the bad? We want to start with
all
the
right.
What do you want to start?
Here's what I'm gonna. I'll say this because the video I'm going to show is basically kind of how at first I was getting ready to go online and being like, what the hell did I just watch? As far as like The Rock basically being like, coming out being like, hey guys, what's going on? Hey, you know what I'm gonna thank? I'm gonna thank Cody Rhodes. And then Cody's just standing there being like, hey Rock, what's going on? And he was like, and Mama Rhodes. He's like, oh Rock, you're so hilarious. And then you hug him. What?
Yeah, I was like, what? I'm like, why is Rock being all babyface and saying nice things to Cody? This does not compute.
But it just like what The Rock said on NXT after the show, and plus some other things. I'm like, because every once in a while I was like, all right, hey, there's another celebrity. Hey, there's another celebrity. Hey, there's another. Hey, guys, we get it. Celebrities are at the show. It's in LA, and thoughts and prayers are with the people of them right now. But I was just like, 3-hour show, hours worth of matches. But then I realized
4 matches in 3 hours.
4 matches. So then the thing is, I took it. Before I went on our Discord and was like, what was that? I realized I don't think we are the target audience for this show. Because they debut on Netflix, it has been hyped up.
Yep.
So they're trying to get the casual fan.
So
I realized once I took a deep breath and put my mind at that situation and finally realized, wait a minute, this show wasn't for me. This show wasn't for Justice. This show wasn't for GIF. This show was for a more casual fan who doesn't keep up with it night in, night out. So that's why you had The Rock coming out being like, hey, I know you know me. Do you know Cody Rhodes? Because Cody Rhodes is really good. He's been carrying this company for a year. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Roman Reigns, he's really good too. So I'm going to come out and do this. Hey, by the way, all these celebrities, they like the show. They like wrestling. You should like wrestling. So I realized what this show was. And once I got my mind there, I realized this show was not bad at all.
No, it was a fine show. It was just that a lot of people were disappointed that, it's like that once you looked at it and thought about it, you realize that exactly what you said, that they built this show to aim at drawing in either new people or casual lapsed fan back in with, this is the big debut. And, whilst when they start with The Rock, they had and then the whole thing with the Tribal Combat and all that stuff. And then right after that, they went to Cena. It's like, it's like you had Undertaker show up, you had Hogan show up. It's like Yeah, like, oh, you remember Taker? Oh, you remember Hogan? You know, it's like member Barry. It's like, remember Hulk Hogan? Remember Biker Taker?
Remember Badass Taker? I remember. But just to kind of put in perspective, this guy made a video that perfectly summed up my thought process and how I came. Because before I saw this video, I'm like, that's kind of my thought process. Because immediately I was like, what the hell was that show? Then I realized, wait, I'm not the target audience for this. Because they know I'm going to keep tuning in. I'm going to be pissed about it. But are you going to grow it? Because you're not going to lose us after one show. We're going to go, as Triple H said that one time, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go online and tweet about it. Yeah, it's that infamous thing that he said. But this video to me perfectly sums up my left and right, we'll call it left and right brain on the whole thing.
Wait, why is The Rock out of character? Oh, wow, The Rock. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. We're 2 hours in. There's only been 2 matches. Oh, my God. Topanga and Macaulay Culkin. This is so much fun. Whatever happened to storyline progression? Hey, did you see Kay Adams' Twitter? This is cool. She's having fun. It's fun. Oh, so all the baby faces are going to win tonight and none of the heels? Well, it seems like the crowd's happy. Huh? Yeah, what a fun night. What a fun night.
And I was like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, that perfectly.
that's really funny, but I like it. It's like,
yeah, it's my left and right brain because my left, whatever you want to call it, one side of my brain was like, why is The Rock like being all buddy and doing? Because I mean, I saw your JD from New York's tweet. He's like, this was horseshit. I'm like, JD, take a deep breath. Think about what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like he talked about it on his Tuesday show with Solo Monster. Where he's like he understood what they were doing. He still wasn't happy, but I
didn't like it personally. I wanted the story progression and stuff, but
yeah,
once I got my mind there, I'm like, this is not for me. There's enough shows for me, for us. This is not one of them. But
like,
guess what? It was still fun.
That's why I figured it out. It's like I was like,
the
Rock thing was like didn't make any sense.
No.
Him being all buddy with Cody. I'm like, are they just like deciding to ignore that whole story? It's like. So we'll see where it goes.
But the production of this show was so effing good.
Yeah. And the stream had no issues. It was smooth. Yeah, Giff. That's one of the other problems. Is that there's too many sponsorship logos on that damn ring. Looked like UFC.
Yeah, and like SmackDown has the different ring apron.
Yeah,
Raw has
the blue ring. I didn't mind the blue ring.
No, and I don't mind is it gray? It was a black ring, right? And Raw?
Yeah, it was black with the sponsors on it.
Yeah. So, yes, there's too many damn sponsors, but UFC had, I mean, I don't know if you watch UFC, they have a shit ton of sponsors and stuff on it. I mean, AEW would sometimes have a shit ton of sponsors on their rings. So, this is, I mean, you're going to have a bunch of NBA players with a bunch of sponsors on their jerseys and stuff. It's just the new era that we're at.
Having Hogan out there was a mistake. He got booed out of the building.
When I saw that, when I saw online that they said that Hogan was going to appear, I was like, that's a bad mistake.
I didn't think you would get that much booed. I figured there'd be people, there were some boos, but it's like they were like, no, go away, please.
No. Yeah, Boogan. Yeah, that's right.
Like Boo Earns.
And the thing is, when people are like, oh, because of, they might have, you're in California and we know where he is on politically, but so is Undertaker, and they loved him. Here's the reason Hogan got booed is because he's doing the same shtick. We're tired of this shtick, and also there's enough coming out about Hogan and how he dictated and was such an asshole.
And also the stuff, the racist comments years ago.
Racist comments.
Never take ownership of that, and so it's like,
no. it's just layers on layers.
Because Undertaker had Donald Trump on his podcast. It's like. And the fans aren't shitting on him for that.
No, because Undertaker's respected. Hogan
is adored because of Trump. It's like it's more. It's
more than that.
There's a lot more to why they're booing Hogan.
For the casual person that just like, oh, they're booing Hogan because that's all they know. I'm like, all right, let me tell you something. Yeah, let me tell you something, brother. The reason they're booing him is because of years and years of when he was in the business and how much he was an asshole and wanted to always politic himself to win. Bret Hart, Yokozuna, that WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Terrible. And then he was like, yeah, because we're going to go on this. No.
Starrcade 97 was Sting.
Starrcade 97 was Sting. In which depending on what podcast you listen to, is a different story that Eric Bischoff tells about Starrcade 97.
Yeah.
Just say it, Eric. Hogan was an asshole who had creative rights.
I have to exercise my creative control tonight, brother.
Yeah, that doesn't work for me, brother. Like, and then what he did to Undertaker with the, watch my neck, and then he got me. And it was like that was the worst tombstone he ever did in his life.
The title at Survivor Series 91. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like, but the reason people are like not like they celebrate Taker is because Taker did business.
Yeah.
He understood the business. It wasn't just about him. It was about the whole thing. That's why he was the judge when he came.
He's never said stupid shit like Hogan has.
No. He's never said stupid shit. He's never come out and said any racist comments that I know of.
Yeah.
And didn't come out and just apologize for it and said, blah, blah, blah. So when people are just saying, it's because he was out there supporting Trump. No, there's a long list of reasons why
there's
people
a
are
long laundry list of reasons why people aren't happy with Hogan. So that was a disaster. But let's get to the positives. Tribal Combat match was entertaining. I was kind of hoping Solo would win. I thought Drew would interfere, but I guess
it was the right decision, even though I was with you. I was wanting Solo to win, but I'm like, even if he wins, where do you go?
Exactly. Now things can get more interesting now that Solo doesn't have the Ulafau. He's not the tribal chief anymore. What are Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu going to do to Solo?
Also, is now that Roman is the tribal chief,
because he told Tama Tonga months ago that if Roman wins the Ulafau back, he will acknowledge him. And that you guys will have to acknowledge him. I don't know if they want to acknowledge him.
Right. And is Roman going to go back to the Roman ways? I don't think he will, but at least that is in my mind as far as storyline wise. Now
that's where it's interesting because it's like he's not going to go back to being the bad guy again. It's
right.
Like
he's way too over as a babyface.
Yeah.
Right now, and he just became a babyface again.
Plus, he's got a Drew McIntyre problem coming.
He's got a sword problem. No, I can't believe I said that again. But
also,
but
Kevin Owens ain't done with him either. I mean, like
No.
Kevin Owens interfered in the Tribal Combat match.
Yeah,
tried to screw Roman up.
Yeah, that was the one interference. I'm like, okay, I don't mind it because then that brought Cody out.
I know you and some people want Punk to be heel, but he's not going to be the heel in this equation. They're turning.
No, they're going to turn Seth heel.
The fans love Punk too much now. They don't. It's like you have to force them to make them hate him. It's like they you could tell the fans were, even though they're both baby faces, they were more behind CM Punk than they were Seth.
Yeah,
it's just a fact.
Yeah, but shout out to
heel CM Punk is cool. And it's like, I mean, eventually it'll happen, but not right now.
Speaking about kayfabe dead, Michael Cole calling Seth by his actual legal name.
Yeah, brought that up,
dude. I know, and shout out to Joe. Like we said it last week. Shout out to Joe Tessitore and Wade, but there's just something different when McAfee and Cole are together. There's just something different. Oh, also, I like the way the new desk. Did you notice that there was a new the desk?
Yeah, and it was reinforced too, because that didn't break.
I know.
Even after the pedigree that Seth did to Punk.
Yeah, no, that was I knew it wasn't going to break. I was like, where? There's way too much. They want to make sure that Cole and McAfee could yeet on it.
I didn't like that there was only 4 matches, but none of them were bad. Rhea Liv, that had the right outcome. Is going to see where Rhea and Liv are going to go now, because that's finally over with. I was surprised Jay beat Drew.
I wasn't.
But maybe just to add a little intrigue to his war against the Bloodline here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also know that too, Gif. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the black shirts. Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, the main event was awesome.
Yeah.
That was a pay-per-view level match.
Yeah. And that's why Seth Rollins is in the is an S tier, because dude just balls out.
Punk shows he still got it too, man.
And also his interview with Chris Van Fleet dropped today.
I watched that today. It was good.
Now, what did he say about Punk? Because did it sound serious? did it sound more shooty, or did it sound like he was in between?
He was explaining that, you know, it's like he tried to reach out to Punk after he left, and Punk basically ghosted him, and so that's why he's not happy with him.
Yeah,
and I get that.
Yeah.
It's like, that combined with, you know, it's like his anti-WWE comments. I understand why Seth felt that way. It's like, but it wasn't like he was all like angry and stuff. He just explained, you know, why but unlike the Young Bucks, that doesn't prevent him from working with Punk, because he's a professional and he cares more about WWE in the business than his own personal feelings. He's willing to put his personal issues with Punk aside in order to have awesome matches and awesome feud in the ring.
And yes, I said shooty.
That's why Seth is better than the Young Bucks.
Yeah, and also to kind of go back to it, yes, I said shooty. It made sense in the time that I said it. Anyway,
no, factoid I don't think I ever heard of. Him cashing in at WrestleMania, the Heist of the Century, was his idea.
Oh, was Seth's or Punk's?
No, it was his idea, Seth's.
Okay. During the interview. Okay.
He said during the interview he came up with the idea of him doing the cash in at WrestleMania to win the title, and he pitched it, and Vince decided to go with it.
Well, yeah, because he loves Seth. Anyway, but what you were saying with, you know, Seth knew to do business, and then the Young Bucks didn't want to do business because they went for more of their personal, not for the company. Literally just what we were talking about, the difference between Hogan and Undertaker. Yeah. Exactly the same thing. Undertaker knew how to do business for the sake of the company, whereas Hogan was just in it for himself.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, for people sitting there, that's why we are a little frowned upon about the Young Bucks, and why we frown upon about the Hulk Hogan, is because you are not about the business, you're about yourself, and you don't know the middle ground, because you have to be about yourself, you have to do what you need to do to get to that spot and earn that spot, but you also have to support the business, because if you just keep doing what you're doing, you're hurting it in the long run.
Yep.
On that, but yeah.
Anyway, great main event. I knew Punk was going to win because that was the right move, because now Seth's going to get more heelish and more angry.
Where does Liv go from here?
I don't know. I'm not sure. We'll see.
Because she literally carried that.
She did, and props to her. She did a great job. With the title.
I know people are like, I'm tired of her having it. I'm like, what else were you gonna do with it? She was definitely the person that needed to have it.
Because Rhea wasn't. It's like Rhea wasn't gonna lose it. They had to take it off her because she was injured. She was gonna be out for 2 months.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, and who else? Because Becky came back just because Rhea got hurt. For that,
because Becky was gonna take the time off, but it's like they put the title on her to then transition it to Liv, rather than just have Liv just take it.
Yeah, and it was, the fact is that they wanted that Liv feud, and it felt like it was over like 4 months ago.
The problem with this feud was that it dragged out too long. She should have won this title back a while ago, but I get why they kept delaying it, because they wanted it to happen on this show.
Yeah,
and have her, because now you add intrigue onto, like, okay, well, who's going to win the Royal Rumble, and are they going to go after Rhea, or are they going to go after Tiffany?
Yeah. And also, and just to kind of close out, I'm going to go into the Royal Rumble, because that's going to lead me into the John Cena.
And also, just quick about Rumble going to Saudi Arabia. I'm not happy about it.
I'm not either.
For obvious reasons. Not happy about it, but I'm not surprised. It's all about the money. Not happy.
They have that deal, and they've had a couple of those exhibition bullshit shows that they are forced to doing bullshit matches for. Yeah. And I think Triple H was finally like, you're never getting Mania. I'm hoping that's what the conversation was, at least. You're never getting Mania.
They probably wouldn't want Mania, but I'm sure Triple H would rather not want to do Mania because of the time difference issues.
Yeah. So he was like, you're never getting Mania. Might as well give you we'll give you the Royal Rumble. Just don't tell me how to do my business, because unfortunately we've known that they.
Because it's like, I mean, it's not about the time difference. It's just that it's in Saudi. That's all. It's just
and that's the problem, is because all that money, and because we got, for those who don't know, going into this last Crown Jewel, they were like, oh, we want Yokozuna, and they're like, he's been dead for like 20.
Yeah, like it's
years.
like they asked like Vince like a few years ago, for like Yokozuna Ultimate Warrior, not really that they're dead. It's
Yeah.
like
So it's like that, and so, but they're the ones that's paying all for it, so they're gonna have some insight. So I'm like, please, for the love of God, Triple H, say like you know what they're talking about and appease them just enough, but don't do dumb shit.
I'm sure they've been wanting to push to have one of the big 4 pay-per-views in Saudi, and so they felt that okay, let's at least give them Rumble. But yeah, it's like, oh my God, if I'll be like, if they
here's what really worries me about it. How's that Women's Royal Rumble gonna go?
Yeah, because they're all going to have to be fully clothed.
Not just that, but just, is anyone going to give a shit there?
That's the other thing, yeah.
That's the other.
Well, yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about that this year.
Yeah.
It's like,
and speaking about Royal Rumble, join us for a live watch along on February. That we will be here doing that for you all.
Yeah,
can't wait for it.
I got the time off for that day. We're good to go.
Yeah, Giff, we're not happy about it either, but unfortunately, they signed that deal. They have to honor the contract. They can't get out of it.
Yeah.
And so
my friend James let out a very loud over Facebook Messenger F-bomb over this news.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, they were going to have at least one of the big 4. And I'd rather them have.
I had a feeling that eventually it was going to happen, just because I felt like they're it's like because of the deal. It's like that,
and you knew they were probably going to end up with Rumble, because they don't only give a shit about War Games. They wanted Mania or Rumble. I knew that's what they wanted, and so they compromised and gave them Rumble on that. Okay. Now, that being said, people are giving shit to Rhea, which I understand is being super Rhea. She's now becoming the John Cena of the women's division, of like, no one can ever beat her and no one's ever as good as her, stuff like that. But the thing is even The Rock, you saw that little video of him like walking out and kind of gave her a hug and was just like, you're carrying our company. Like, he even gave her like that props. And I can't deny that. Like, Rhea is there.
Yeah.
Like there's just
hope that this reign, however long it's going to last, is she has better feuds, because when she had the title outside of the match in the feud with Becky, they were very lackluster. She had very lackluster feuds. It's like, that's why I'm hoping like
Jordan Grace,
you can believe that Jordan Grace can take Rhea out.
Yeah. But the thing is it's the Deonna Purrazzo AEW situation where they just feed her straight up off of a debut. And they did it with Julia, kind of. But you had there's not going to be any shenanigans in that match. And then you just bury Jordan off the mat. Because you're not going to – I wish they would, but they're not going to bury Jordan off – they're not going to have Rhea take the pin to Jordan off the rip. They're just not.
Yeah. So
it's just a weird conundrum of like, what's a feud that would work, but also not kill that. And if you debut Jordan, it's just not going to work.
SRS reported that Becky has they've confirmed that she's signed a new contract, which no surprise, because she was part of the Netflix executive. So her return, along with her and Charlotte, are going to return at any moment at this point. It's like, so.
No, Tiffany and Charlotte, just Tiffany and Charlotte. That's all we want. That's the
people wanted it for a while. Ever since
we've all been wanting it for like ever since Tiffany got to the main roster, was on SmackDown. We're like, we were like, Justin, you know what's gonna happen? The Queen versus the clock. I don't know what else to call her. but yeah, with Rhea, it's just tough to really sit there and be like, oh yeah, that feud.
The only other thing I could see for Becky, I mean, I wouldn't mind a rematch with Rhea but only if like she would win the title, which she doesn't need the title, win the world title again, and that's it's like a title up to her. I've seen this floated around by JD and others. They could have if Lyra wins the women's Intercontinental title, they could have her Becky Lyra for the title at Mania.
Yeah, it's just the fact of Io
she would do that. She would do that to help put Lyra over.
Yeah,
because she did that in NXT. Yep, what's up? She won the NXT title, a women's NXT title from Tiffany, to scratch that off of her bucket list. because she didn't win the NXT championship when she was in NXT. She was the only one of the 4 horsewomen who was not NXT Women's Champion. But they went back and they're like, okay, we're going to give you the belt for a little bit. She went down there, helped elevate Tiffany, and then she passed the torch to Lyra to help get her over. So I could see them doing that again. So
honestly, we need Alexa Bliss back. We need Alexa Bliss back right now.
She'll be back whenever I think she wants to be back.
Yeah, she's a mom now, so she's got that going.
Same with Carmella.
But Alexa Bliss will definitely work with Rhea. But honestly, like the match that I really want Rhea to do against of all like the female superstars right now, off the top of my head, I know I'm a big. Everyone knows honestly, Stephanie Vacour, like in her style, works so gosh damn well with Rhea.
Oh yeah.
I know Jordan Grace obviously.
Jordan Grace. The other one that they've held off that hasn't been done on the main roster, despite them tangling NXT, is Bianca and Rhea. I
thought they've done some big matches before.
Only in NXT. They have not. Huh. They have not had any kind of feud on the main roster.
Yeah,
because they've been on separate brands.
Right. We were wanting Jade and Rhea, but Jade's just not there yet, man. She's just
the last time that they tangled in the ring together was War Games 2023 when it was all the baby faces against Damage Control, and they recruited Rhea to help them.
Okay. Do you?
Oh yeah. It was because it was no 2022. Because that was just after Damage Control started. It was Wreck-It Havoc, and Becky had been injured in the SummerSlam match, and she came back just in time for War Games. Teamed with Bianca and other baby faces. They took on Damage Control, which was just Dakota, Io, and Bayley, Crazy Evil, Nikki, and Rhea.
Okay.
That's one of the last time outside of the Rumble. Remember the Rumble a couple years ago when they were the final two that Bianca won when she went on to beat Sasha at WrestleMania. That was 2021.
2021. I was about to say, like the last 2 years, Rhea won, but Liv was the final two.
Yeah.
On the she finished second two years in a row.
Yeah, the year that Bianca won, it was down to her and Rhea. They were the final two. And Bianca won that and went on and beat Sasha for the title at Mania. So they've had interactions, but they never had a proper like pay-per-view one-on-one match.
I would say it was like Gunther and Cody until Saudi fucked that up.
Because that's still a big match that they've kept in their pocket. Like how they kept Becky and Rhea apart for a long time before they finally did it last year. Yeah. It's like so that's another one that they're eventually going to have to do is Bianca Rhea.
Oh no, that's definitely there. But yeah, there's definitely feuds there. It's just I'm just interested to see where they go because
there's a couple options for Rhea.
I just think they're going to do Becky, and the thing is, people are like, oh, we've already seen that before. Yeah, but it's Becky Rhea. There's never not a money.
Plus, Becky would be motivated to try to, and if they're going to do it, she's going to get the win back because that would make the most sense. You know,
yeah. So because they were saying that there was the scuttlebutt about Becky was actually supposed to be the one to come out and like just kind of do a stare down.
Others were that was
And then they were like, no, that was never the plan. We were always going to have the Undertaker come out. And
actually, I'll expect her more this week on Raw, especially if Lyra wins the title, the IC title tournament.
Yeah.
But she, I mean, I'm sure they would love to run it back because they had a great match, but Becky had like a fever over 100, and poor Rhea had a fucking panic attack before that match. That to calm her down.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's WrestleMania and she's wrestling Becky freaking Lynch.
Right.
It's like I don't blame you for having a panic attack.
Plus the band is there to play her song, who she adores.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, also, we never talked about this feud that we didn't realize. Kieran and Macaulay Culkin. Why were they not sitting together?
Yeah, it was weird.
But Macaulay Culkin got a
hanging out
huge
with
pop.
somebody.
Macaulay Culkin got a huge pop. Also, why Raw, Netflix? You know who Will Friedle is? That's
Yeah,
Eric Matthews.
yeah, I was shocked that
It's Eric fucking Matthews.
Like
That's
they were focused on Topanga, but not him. It's like,
That's my date with the president's daughter. That's HE double hockey sticks. Will Friedle. Come on.
I saw that movie for the first time recently. It's actually really good.
What my date with the president's daughter? HE double hockey sticks.
Yeah. No, a date with the president's daughter. I saw that for the first time recently.
HE double hockey sticks. If no one ever knows, I think it's one of those Disney Channel original movies. But he plays a demon that is trying to and Matt Lawrence plays a hockey player, and he's a demon that signs a deal with Will Friedle's a demon character, and then because that Will Friedle character as a demon, he's not getting his quota or whatever. And then Gabrielle Union plays another demon who is watching out for him.
Anyway, we're getting off attention.
But no, you know how they could avoid it if you just gave him his props, Netflix.
Yeah,
that's how we could have avoided that tangent.
Well, a lot of the people that were wrestling fans I expect to be here: Vanessa Hudgens, O'Shea Jackson Jr.
Yeah, saw him in the background. Shout out to Vanessa Hudgens saying hot girls like wrestling too, and I'm like, yeah, I can't deny that. On that,
I love that Bill Simmons was right behind the announce desk, which is ironic because he's not that big a fan of McAfee.
Yeah, but then and also too, like they like Nikki Bella. Also Nikki Bella. That
was a surprise, and she's talked about it. So like her in WWE. It's like the fence has been mended, it's like, and she said that she was happy to be back because she said like it was like going back home. It was like it was like going back to a fan reunion that seeing people he hadn't seen in a long time.
Yeah,
she was very happy.
She got a good pop.
Yeah,
for sure. But yeah, she's been teasing about going back to the ring forever.
Yeah, she has.
Every little podcast and stuff that she does that she's like with another wrestler. She's
There's
like,
plenty of people on the current roster who'd want to have a dream match with her.
Yeah. Sure. The thing is I mean, she's not a bad worker, but I want her to have her like flowers because unfortunately Nikki was always a good worker. Brie, not so much, but Nikki was a good worker.
The workhorse of the two, yeah.
She was a workhorse of the two, but because she was in such the bad era where AJ Lee was carrying that division as like the actual female wrestler.
Yeah, I've only like seen like highlights here and there of that era because I wasn't watching at the time.
But it just the Bella twins were just they tried. Nikki was a good. I just want her to get her flowers. I want her to actually have a good, solid program.
Yeah,
so people can understand that Nikki was just unfortunately. She was great for that era because she knew what she was doing for that era, but she wasn't getting props for her wrestling abilities and just for the other stuff. And that it was just because of the era that it was. So I want to see her at least get like, with Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch in that cage match where like, even though Trish was doing her thing.
Trish always kept herself in good ring shape. And so it's like, she can still go. Her and Lita both shown they can still go.
Yeah. So it's only a matter of time, guys. If you brought Trish back, and then you brought Lita back, and if you bring up Nikki, just bring up a one AJ Lee against a Roxanne.
Bailey. A lot of people wanted. Like one of the first things Bailey was telling Punk was bring her back, have AJ come back, and he said he's working on it.
When does it happen?
It's from what Punk has said. It's if she has the time. It's not that she doesn't want to. It's like she's doing so much stuff out these days that she's busy. He said, and it's a matter of if she has the time. So if she has the time, she's probably going to pop back up. And I know you want that. Bailey wants that. Cora and Roxanne want it. It's like there's a lot of women on the roster who love to see AJ Lee return.
Yeah. Oh, just because another just in a bad era of women's wrestling where you can tell they had solid workers.
You probably have Bailey and Roxanne fighting over who gets to wrestle AJ first.
I wouldn't mind it. Because those, Anyway,
speaking of Bailey, she might be moving this transfer window. She was talking with Nick Aldis. She shook his hand.
Oh, that's right. She did. I mean, it's about time for Bailey to move to.
I think it would be a good idea. It's like a fresh change of scenery. I think would help her.
Bailey versus Rhea. That'll work. All right.
That's why I think Chad and American Made along with Drew should go to Smack. Both that stable and Drew should go to SmackDown.
Yeah. All right. Let's talk about AEW so I can prolong the inevitable.
I know. Well, but there's a lot of good for NXT, so we're actually saving a lot of good for that.
Yeah. No, this was the NXT, like we said, guys, at the top of the show. Of the shows that we had this week, NXT was the best show of the 4. So, but that's because Raw was not for us; it was for the casual. So
next week is probably going to be more business as usual.
That's the one thing. Now I'll start getting worried if it goes back to the bullshit.
Yeah, we'll see.
But I will give them a pass now because I realized once I realized what they were doing. Like you said, it was a solid house show. It's kind of what it was.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was good for the fact that we can move on from the Roman Reigns. Just to kind of recap again before I move on again, we can the Roman Reigns solo stuff. We can move on from that.
Yeah,
Rhea
lives over. We can move on.
We can move on for that. Jay gets a win over
Seth
McIntyre.
is still that's the only.
Punk and Seth is still just beginning. Like I said, Jay getting a win over McIntyre. That's intriguing. So
keeps that thing going.
So you're still dangling. It's not the carrots we were hoping to dangle, but you're still dangling carrots of where Seth Punk goes and Jay and the OG Bloodline and McIntyre and Kevin Owens go from there as well. So let's move on to AEW, which we had a really good women's match, but we'll get into that.
All right, here's a recap of what happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. Show opened with Will Ospreay taking on Buddy Murphy. Good stuff here. Ospreay won with the Hidden Blade. After match, he gave props to Buddy, saying that he should go after singles gold, doesn't need a leader, aka Malaki, and said that if he ever needed someone in his corner, he'll be happy to be there for him, and they shook hands out of respect. They recap what happened at Wrestle Kingdom Wrestle Dynasty over the weekend. Kenny Omega's return match, Young Bucks winning the New Japan Tag titles, Mercedes collecting more singles gold. Prairie came out to celebration, but Hurt Syndicate interrupted. MVP offered a toast, but they toasted to Hurt Syndicate taking the tag titles from Private Party. Private Party was not happy. Then we had Bobby Lashley taking on Mark Briscoe in a one-on-one match. He won with the Hurt Lock. They did a beatdown afterwards, but Private Party made the save to help out Briscoe. Then we had a men's casino gauntlet match. Winner would face Jon Moxley for the title next week on Dynamite, the Maximum Carnage episode. Started with Jay White and Hangman Page. Then we had Wheeler Yuta, Ricochet, Adam Cole, Daniel Garcia. Powerhouse Hobbs came at number 7. Roderick Strong came out at number 8. Lance Archer came out at number 9. Kyle O'Reilly came out at number 10. Jeff Jarrett came out at 11. He was the last man. Wheeler jumped him to prevent him from even getting involved in the match. The Undisputed Crew worked together for most of the match, but things got chaotic, and eventually Hobbs was able to hit a big spinebuster on Kyle O'Reilly and pin him to win the gauntlet match, and will get the title shot against Moxley next week. After the match, he got on the mic and said that he promised to make Moxley his bitch. Jeff Jarrett came back into the ring to cut a promo. So he's not sure if he's got it to be able to, for this last run, and try to win the AEW Championship. MJF, all people, came out to interrupt. Moxley rained down Jeff Jarrett, but also offered him the opportunity that, hey, if we work together, I can help you win the title in return. You give me a title shot in return. Jeff Jarrett told him, hell no. MJF was not happy. Adam Copeland came out, cut a promo on Death Riders and Moxley. They showed up to attack. All of them, including Pac. FTR came out to help, but the numbers was too much. Eventually, Powerhouse came out before Moxley could try to choke out Cope with the plastic bag. Mario May and Harold Cameron had a segment where they set up a match for them on Collision. Then we had a triple threat match. Winner would get the number 1 spot in the Women's Casino Gauntlet match to determine the number 1 contender to face Mariah May at Grand Slam in Australia. Tony Storm versus Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander. Good stuff from the ladies here. Statlander pinned Tony Storm with her finisher to pick out the victory and earn the number 1 spot in the Gauntlet next week. After the match, Tony Storm cut a promo saying that maybe she doesn't look, maybe she's ready to win the Gauntlet match. It should be in a minute. Maybe it's not Tony time just yet. Then we had the main event segment. Kenny Omega coming out to cut a promo talking about recovering from diverticulitis and saying that wasn't sure if he could be able to get back to the ring and be able to do it again. But this weekend at New Japan, he discovered that he does still got it and that he's going to keep on fighting. Don Callis, all people, came out to interrupt, welcome him back. Omega ran and attacked him before he could pull any shenanigans. That brought out the rest of the Don Callis family, minus Takeshita, to beat Don Kenny. Will Ospreay came out, of all people, and made the save with a chair, chased off Don Callis' family. Omega and Ospreay had a stare down. Very kind of Mega Powers moment, but they didn't do a handshake. They just had a stare down because of their history. And that closed out the show. So that's all that happened on this week's episode of AEW Dynamite.
All right. So I know we started out with the bad for Raw. Let me start off with the good for AEW. That gauntlet match. That's how you build different feuds while also delivering a great in-ring wrestling.
Yep.
Like, I know we give shit to Tony about his storytelling, but this was one of the best in-ring bookings I can remember.
Yeah, I just wish he wasn't used the gauntlet match so much.
I know, but the way it just did.
This one was booked very well. Surprise winner with Powerhouse Hobbs.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will get to look good before losing to Moxley. It's like, it's how you book it, because like he's not going to be winning the title from Moxley, unfortunately, but as long as he gets to look good, But I'm glad at least doing something with him. Yeah, especially like Wheeler Yuta basically was in there to be spoiler to prevent certain people from winning. Like he immediately attacked Jeff Jarrett before he could even get in the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was definitely like feuds within feuds going on there. I loved Ricochet trolling people by playing Swerve's music before coming out, making think Swerve's in the match.
This is the Ricochet that would never happen in WWE.
Yeah.
This is what we've been. This is why we're like, okay, this Ricochet I'm okay with you going to AEW, because we would never have this Ricochet. It might have somewhat happened, but the thing is the crowd dictated this Ricochet, and he's leaning into it. Because at first you try to come out as a baby face, and people are like, we don't care. Your mic skills are subpar at best. Whatever. And so then he acted like a little bitch with the Hurt Syndicate, and we're like, all right, you're just burying yourself in this point. And then he starts doing this little troll stuff with Swerve, and it's starting to work.
Yeah.
So with that, the fact that I'm actually caring about a Jeff Jarrett storyline, I cannot in 2025.
The MJF wrinkle was interesting.
But the fact that I'm caring about it,
I don't know if that's going to work. We'll see where it goes.
Right, but that's not what I'm. It's just the fact that I'm
see where it goes for now.
But I'm caring about Jeff Jarrett. That, you know how hard that is for me to care about Jeff Jarrett.
Same here.
And you're actually making me care about him. So that I'll give that. The Jay White Hangman, that was pretty fun at the beginning.
Yeah.
But but yeah, just all the storyline, the Ricochet, and then like the crowd chanting "You both suck" to Wheeler Yuta and Ricochet.
And Ricochet at the same time when they were working together.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. But yeah, this was just like when you saw this, like, man, this has so much potential of just being such a bullshit thing, and it was booked so.
Hopefully, the
well.
women's gauntlet match this next week will be just as good.
And speaking about the women, the other thing, that triple threat match. Triple threat match.
I wish I had more time.
I wish I had more time. We always talk.
I at first I was like, huh? But I appreciate them not going with the obvious of Tony winning this match to get the number 1 spot. But she's good, despite what she's saying. She's going to be the gauntlet match. She's going to win it.
Right. And I'm glad Statlander finally got a win. So. Yeah.
Those ladies are all great. I just wish the match had lasted longer. It was good while it lasted.
Yeah, but I got to get props to do. I'm trying, just trying to be positive.
Ospreay versus Buddy Matthews was great.
Yeah, why did they have him cut a promo after he just did that though?
Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, and then plus him hyping up Buddy going off on his own. That's what led to a lot of people were like, is something going on?
Right.
Also, because Malachi hasn't been on TV in a long time either.
Yeah,
so.
and I did love the Kenny comes out. Then Don comes out, gets like maybe a syllable in, and Kenny just goes after him. Like I like that as well. What was it? The one thing that I did not like? Oh yeah, the fact that the Death Riders have become stale as hell.
Did you notice the reaction when they came out?
Yeah, no one cared.
No reaction.
No reaction because we were thinking it's leading to something, and it's been the same thing for like the past.
The fans don't give a shit, and that's bad.
Yeah.
Because it's the same old every week. I was like, oh God, not the fucking plastic bag again. It's like, can you do something else?
Please, for the love of God, do something.
I can't wait until this whole that someone takes the title off Moxley. It's like I'm already done with this whole storyline because it's. I mean, God bless Adam Copeland and FTR. They're trying, but it's just like. It's not working for me, brah.
No, it's really not. Which stinks because we actually liked what they were doing, but then Mox is like, because Pac. He's the only. Here's. Let me just say this. Here's the issue with it. Mox is the only talker of the group.
Yeah,
there's no other talkers. So if you're having Mox go out there and talk every week, he's gonna say the same shit.
Over and over.
He's the Bray Wyatt babbling rabbit that he was towards that stale version of the Wyatt family. And when Wheeler Yuta doesn't talk, Claudio doesn't talk, Pac definitely doesn't talk, and Maria Shakir is there.
She doesn't talk. Period.
No. So
she's the right move, but she can't. She's not good on the mic.
No. So when you only have one talker, sometimes it works when you're a Paul Heyman because he can make money every single time he opens his mouth. And Mox is a great promo. Don't get me wrong. But when you go out there and say the same shit for the last 3 months, it was great for the first month. After that, it's like.
And also, they've completely kind of like forgotten about the fact that Claudio, Yuta, and Pac have the trios titles. When's the last time they defended those things?
Also. Yeah, and why is Kyle O'Reilly coming out to Conglomerate music?
When he's back with Cole and Strong in the Undisputed Kingdom. Yeah, that was also
that's a little thing that's like irked me, but
because it was like Undisputed Era of old. They were the three of them were like gang attacking guys in that match.
Whatever. That was like a little bitty thing. Like that's a nitpick. The biggest issue is the fact that your AEW champion and that faction is supposed to be your big, powerful heel faction is stale as hell.
Yeah.
And that's a trend right now of you're supposed to be your big, powerful heel factions become stale really damn quick.
Top storyline, and it's like people are like.
Well, I that being said, the Bloodline versus Bloodline storyline, sometimes people are like, can we get over this?
Right.
The Tiffy cash in, can we get over this? The Rhea versus Liv, can we get over this? So I'm just pointing that out there. The fact that we're giving AEW, I always like to say we're giving AEW shit.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that WWE is perfect.
No, we've already pointed out our problems with Raw. So
Yeah, and we there's a lot more good than the Death Riders. I think this show was solid.
It was a solid show. I
solid
like the closing angle with Kenny, getting real on the mic. Don Callis family attacking. Nice choice. Ospreay making the save. They're both baby faces, but because of their history, they're not friends. So I like just that they stare down. It's like, so they get, they're like, just because they're both baby faces doesn't mean that they're immediately buddy.
I hate waiting on things. That's one thing.
I like that. I was thinking, oh, are they going to do a mega power? No. Let's not have them do a mega power handshake. Let's save that for later.
We did talk about that. It's Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay versus Edge and.
Plus they could build to it, because then it's like, like the mega power. It's like they do the mega power handshake, the fans will go nuts.
Yeah, but you know what I want, and I said that when they signed Will Ospreay and signed Edge. I want Edge and Christian versus Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay.
It may happen.
I just I don't care if they're all baby faces, even though Christian's like one of the best heel workers out there. I want Edge and Christian versus Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. I want that.
Yep. Maybe they can sell their beef with a match at Grand Slam.
Yeah,
because Grand Slam's going to happen before the Revolution pay-per-view.
I will have to say, I will have to play this little 30-second promo from Toni Storm, because her character work is still so damn good.
An unfortunate loss out there tonight, but a lot of people were really surprised that you didn't win.
I'm not surprised. I gave it my best, but clearly I'm just not ready. But it was really an honor to be out there with Willow and Chris Statlander. She deserves it. And next week, the Casino Gauntlet, the women, they're going to be amazing. But for me, I'm just not ready. But I'm going to keep working hard. And I guess it can't be Tony time all the time.
I like that character work of her. Just feel like she's like.
Well, even Renee was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, like everyone's like, "What happened?" And the fact
they're trying to make the casual fan not think she's going to win when she's going to win, but us who are seasoned pro wrestling fans, we know she's going to win the match.
Yeah, and I just like
You're not going to have Tony not have a title rematch against Brian May for the women's world title in her home country of Australia. It's like, just like it's like they gave Rhea versus Nia Jax title match the main event slot at Elimination Chamber. Why? Because they were in Australia.
and then plus with her new character, and she said Tony, it's not Tony time yet. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on. Tiffy time, Tony time, blonde hair girl, and people just keep it like, why can't they just give her the belt? Like, when's it going to be Tony time? When's it going to be Tiffy time? I'm like, there's some copyright infringement going on right now.
Well, Tony time was around before Tiffy time. So.
No, she is timeless, guys. She's not. Yeah. There's just not. When is it going to be her time? No, she's timeless.
Yeah,
but no, she for the last 3 years has done the best character work of any female wrestler.
The last year and a half with timeless Tony stuff, and now this, she's killing it.
She's killing it. All right.
This is what I hope for when I saw her in NXT. I'm like she's got the potential to be a hell of a star. Yeah. And it's like thanks to Vince, they blew it, and then she wanted out.
Well, you talking about you didn't like when Charlotte slowly put a pie in her face, and then Tony was like, "Fuck this, I'm out." You didn't like that? All right, I'll put off the inevitable at this point, but I guess we have to move on.
It's time to talk about New Year's Evil on NXT, and it's all right. We're going to talk about the positives, okay? I love you, buddy. It's okay.
I don't want to do it.
I
won't do it.
You were already going through the 5 stages of grief before this match even happened.
I'm aware of what I did. Oh, it was a good match too. That's what sucks.
It was.
All right, fine. Here's the bullshit of a show. Yeah, she won. She's really good.
All right, here's a recap what happened on this week's episode of NXT, the special New Year's Evil episode. The Rock was shown arriving, which he had teased on his Instagram the night before. Vic Joseph Booker T revealed that Corey Graves was now joining them on the commentary desk, and apparently this is permanent for the time going forward, which means it will just be Joe Tessitore and Wade Barrett on SmackDown. The opening match was for the NXT Women's Championship, the big rematch. Roxanne Perez defending against Julia. This was a great match. Cora Jade tried to interfere again to help Roxanne, but it didn't work. Julia kicked out of Pop Rocks. Julia fought back, hit her with the running knee, and then the Northern Lights bomb to pin her. And Julia is the new NXT Women's Champion, ending Roxanne's great run as champion at 274 days. Sorry, Josh. Then Eddie Thorpe looked like he'd been attacked again in the back, but Ava didn't believe him, that he was faking it, despite his protests. They had stuff with Ethan Page bragging about injuring Javon, and Javon cut a promo with his jaw apparently wired shut, saying he was going to get his payback on Ethan Page. Then we had number one contender match for the Women's North American Championship, Fatal 4-Way. Cora Jade versus Stephanie McCurry versus Klein Jordan versus Lowell Vice. Non-stop action in this one. Eventually, Stephanie McCurry hit her finisher on Kalani Jordan to pick up the victory and become the number one contender. Ava informed Ella Dawn that Unholy Union will be a number of contenders match for the women's tag team titles match next week. Obafemi came in and told him he's wearing fair belt and basically said that, yeah, he attacked him. It's payback. Ava said he was going to be in the match regardless. Triple H and Nick Khan showing the audience along with Joe Tessitore. A hype package on the OTM where they cut a promo saying they're going to be coming for the tag titles of Fraxium. Then we had a 6-woman tag, Fatal Influence taking on Shotzi, Gigi Dolan, and Tatum Paxley. Lots of chaos on this one. Shotzi hit her welcome to the ball pit finish off the top on Fallon Henley and pinned her to win the match. More on that later. The Rock came in to confront Ethan Page, who was giving Ava a hard time, and told him gave him some advice, and told him to listen to Ava because she's the boss, also because she is his daughter, which he didn't mention specifically, but we all know. And then Ava and The Rock had a father-daughter moment, and he would be closing out the show with a promo. Then we had a Heritage Cup match. One fall here to determine the clear-cut champion, Lex King versus Charlie Dempsey. At one point near the end of the match, Lex accidentally headbutted Dempsey in midair and near the groin. But he took advantage, hit the coronation, picked up a victory, and as the Heritage Cup. Stephanie was talking to Ava and Fallon Henley about setting up their title match when Shotzi came in and said that she deserves a shot because she beat Fallon Henley in the match earlier tonight. Stephanie McCurry objected since she just won earned the number one contendership, but Ava decided to clear it up by having Stephanie McCurry take on Shotzi next week. Winner will face Fallon Henley. Then we had the main event match, NXT Championship, triple threat, Trick Williams defending against Obafemi and Eddie Thorpe. Eddie Thorpe didn't come out at first to start the match, but eventually showed up wielding a chair, going after both Obafemi and Trick Williams. Trick went for the trick shot. Oba ducked, and Eddie blasted Trick with a chair. Oba took out Eddie Thorpe and then hit his Fall from Grace powerbomb on Trick to pin him and become the new NXT champion. The era of Obafemi is here. Both he and Julia stood on the top of the stage, holding up their championships, showing off that it's a new era. The Rock came out and then cut a promo to hype up WWE and the NXT roster to close out the show. That's all that happened this week.
I want to talk about it.
It's okay, buddy.
I want to.
We have to.
I don't want to. You talk about it. Hey, just apparently the show was good. I didn't think so. thought it was maybe mediocre to like the worst show
Come
I've
on,
ever
man.
seen.
Come on, man.
I mean, the Heritage Cup I cared about. That's something you never did before. I mean, Lexus King looked amazing. I'll put it that way.
Okay, do you want to save Roxanne Julia for last, or do you want to just deal with it now?
Let's rip the Band-Aid off.
Come on.
I'm in mourning right now.
I know.
It's time for acceptance stage.
Yep.
Because I know she's on to bigger, better things. But
she's going to be going.
This was the match. I will say this. This was the match we were hoping for, except for the finish for me. But this was a Stephanie. This was not Stephanie. This was Roxanne.
This was way better than their first match.
Yes,
on the
this was the match we were expecting from Julia Roxanne when Julia debuted.
They had real chemistry in this match. I really liked it. There was nice counters on both their ends on the stuff that's like that, shows that they're paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
I love how Corey Graves was with the way Booker T was cheered for Roxanne. It's like, now I know how people feel about when I'm cheered for my wife on commentary.
Hey man, listen, when we're invested as much as Booker T is, as I am in the greatness that is Roxanne Perez, you're going to cheer for her too.
Yeah.
And the problem is because
did you love how Booker at the end blamed Corey for Roxanne losing that he jinxed her or something? It's like, it's your fault, man.
No. It's never Roxanne's fault. She's too perfect. Like if it's up to me, like it's always going to be another reason. Like it's a ref's fault. It's Corey Graves' fault. It's a fan's fault because it's never Roxanne's fault that she loses. So it's always a fluke loss when it happens to her. So yeah. Congrats, Julia. You have a fluke win. I guess. Whatever. No, the match was good. But
I know it's like it, but think about it. She had this run, blew her first run out of the water.
It's 267 days, right?
Yeah, 274 days.
74.
It's the 5th longest NXT Women's title reign of all time.
That's why she's the best.
She had quality matches. Up and down.
Again, why she's the best.
Opponents. She helped, even though people like Jada Parker or Lola Vice didn't win, they got to look good. Same with Thea. The match with Jordan Grace was awesome. She's been a fighting champion, and like we talked about before, her heel work really evolved during this title run, and became quite good.
Yeah. I was always biased about her as being my favorite female wrestler in the business. But when she went heel, and because I'll say Kiana James, that match was not good. I will straight up say it. That match was not good at all.
Before she had started the feud with Lyra that led her to her winning the title at Stand and Deliver. Yeah, that match was like not good.
No, but then she went heel.
Yeah,
and it was a little shaky at first.
Yeah, it was.
But I was like, wait a minute, I know she's got it in. She's so good. It's gonna work. And then she has been carrying the best women's division in all of wrestling.
Yep.
For a whole year.
Yeah.
I know it's not 365 days as a champion, but she's been carrying.
She had she got to have the title for almost a year.
Yeah. And she has been carrying that, which is why it just solidifies why I was like, she's got it.
Yeah.
And she has been great in ring. She's been great on the mic. You give her a baby face, she'll be amazing. You give her and this is the first heel run she had. It started off a little shaky because she was trying to find her footing. Yeah. And man, has she been great. Yeah.
The faith that HBK and the NXT Brain Trust put in her was validated by this long and very well done run. Lots of great matches, lots of great moments. She has nothing to be ashamed about. She deserves her flowers, as people said online. And yes, some good things have to come to an end sometimes. But
especially in wrestling,
she's going to be going to the main roster, and then she's going to get a chance to kill it on another level.
She's way too talented, and I'm glad that when the main, like a lot of times we're like, oh, she's going to the main roster, but
she's definitely going to be in the Rumble now for sure.
Oh yeah, like, I already knew that.
So it's going to be other NXT women are going to be in the Rumble this year.
Is Joe Henry's going to be in the Rumble, right? Yeah, so I'm just making sure Joe Henry's going to be in the Rumble, right?
No, he's okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're not powerful enough to summon him right now. So.
No, not yet. But yes, no. I just want that core. I just want that Cora Roxanne blow off feud before she goes. That's the only thing.
I think that's probably most likely gonna happen because because they may not call her up until after Mania. As I consider sticking around for a little bit, maybe they might have one more match with her and Julia, and because Cora tried to help her again this time, it didn't work, so they could use that to start building the dissension to having them have that final one-on-one match between the two of them before she gets called up. So we'll see. Obviously, her and Cora both did not have a good night. They did not take it very well. No. But their daddy CM Punk was there. He was there to support them. You know, that Instagram pic of the two of them all like and Punk standing between the two of them smiling. I thought was very funny. But even though they lost, he's still proud. He's still proud of them.
That's his daughters, man.
Those are his kids, and he's proud of them even though they lost.
Despite what Seth says.
Yeah,
it's kids.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, she this title run cemented what I've thought she could be.
Yeah, and I always was impressed by her, but this run, her heel work and this title run, it's like showed that the Prodigy label is. It's like that nickname is earned. She's special. And I can't wait to see her on the main roster because like her mixing up with some of the big names on the main roster. Can't wait. Yeah. But happy for Julia. It's like it's taken some time. She's gotten used to, doing the American style and everything. But the fans like her. I mean, it wasn't like a gigantic pop, but they were definitely excited for the title change. So they're warming up to Julia, and she's like shown like that why the hype was valid for her as well. She's so good in the ring, man. Oh God, when her and Stephanie McCurry had that one-on-one match, it's gonna be so good.
It's gonna be so good.
I mean, can you imagine? Look, because they're teasing that. It's like I don't see Stephanie McCurry just losing to Fallon Henley. It's like she's gonna go through Shotzi, and then she's probably gonna take the time. Could we have at Stand and Deliver NXT Women's Champion Julia versus Women's North American Champion Stephanie McCurry?
Yeah, it could be. I will say of the Julia, Zarya, Stephanie McCurry I was thinking, Julia is gonna be the best. Stephanie, maybe it's her style, maybe it's how smooth she is, but she is different.
She is. She moves in that ring with such speed and grace. It's like I love watching her.
Yeah.
It's like
Julia kind of plots a little bit, which I was surprised about. She plots a little bit. She's not as smooth as Stephanie.
Yeah, but it's different. She's still great, but it's more of that Japanese style.
Right.
But she's adjusting to like American style, and you can see it. She's moving a lot more quickly and with more confidence. You can see how more comfortable she was. Like these, like the Iron Survivor, she killed it, and then this match, same thing. It's like you can tell that she's really becoming more comfortable with the WWE style.
Yeah, and I just need them to focus. I just need them to use Zarya more because I feel like that she like came in like a bottle rocket, and then she's kind of taking a step back. And I'm like,
I'm wondering where this thing with her and Ruckus is. It's like we'll see where that goes, but it's pretty clear between Julia winning the title and Stephanie going hunting for the Women's North American title that they see Julia and Stephanie as those two are going to be the cornerstone foundation of this division for a while going into 2025.
Yeah.
Like, which makes sense because of all the hype that those two had when people knew that they were coming in. Again, God, man, that when they get to have that one-on-one match that's coming down the road, that's going to be a banger. And you saw how the fan, like during the Iron Survivor match, when they faced off, the crowd came alive because they want to see those two go at it.
I am more impressed with. I'm so impressed with Stephanie that I'm just like, just give me her and Becky right now. Just that's those two styles together.
Oh God,
it's her and Io, like just give me some of those, like
Julia against all like Io, Kyrie, and Asuka.
Oh well, we know that.
That's going to happen, and she wants it. Also, I saw a little interview thing with Julia that I found online where she was talking. She's being interviewed for Japanese TV, and she mentioned some stuff that I already knew that like about how she got into wrestling. She goes, as soon as I saw wrestling for the first time, I knew that's what I wanted to do. She immediately felt that her and Stephanie are very good friends. But she mentioned that she is a huge fan of Rhea. She looks up to Rhea, and she says one of her dreams is when she gets the main roster is to face Rhea one-on-one. And Rhea's also equally a fan of hers because Rhea retweeted her winning the championship on X. So
Stephanie's more of the luchador, very, very great, like speed, graceful, but she also has that strong style in her. That's the thing.
Where Julie's got the Japanese strong style. She's she's gonna hit you out like a truck.
Right. Wow. And I think Stephanie's got a little best of kind of both worlds. That's why not to sit there and say like, oh, Julia's not good. No, she's amazing. I've just been surprised at how more impressed I am with Stephanie's in ring.
I get that. I've been happy with both of them.
It's a win-win situation. But
those when Julia and Stephanie are on Raw and SmackDown, them against Rhea, Becky, Bianca, you name it, it's gonna be awesome. It's like they're gonna kill it. It's like the women's division. The future is very awesome and very stacked. It's like we're looking at amazing banger feuds and premium WrestleMania matches or in the next couple of years with those two coming up. And also I think Zarya is going to get there as well because I've also been really impressed with her. She's also getting. I think she's going to get a chance to sign. She's kind of like it's like Julia came in first, so she's a little bit at the top. Stephanie's right behind her, and then Zarya's right behind them. So it's
it's why I was kind of like I wish Sasha was still with the WWE for just that one 4 horsemen versus 4 horsewomen versus like Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, and freaking Rhea. Like just give me that or something like that, or just do Stephanie, Julia, Roxanne, and Zarya, Roca probably.
Yeah. One of the things I love about Julia is that it's I love how you can see the emotion, how she was really oh my God, it's like I'm the champion. It's it's a big deal for her. And did you catch the little picture where they showed her in Gorilla getting congratulated by Triple H and Shawn? Yeah. It's like she was very humble. Thank you. It's like I love her. Her and Stephanie have me so excited for the future, man. It's like Stephanie versus Shotzi. That's going to be a hell of a match this coming week. As soon as I was surprised. I was expecting maybe Lola Vice maybe win this match. I didn't think Cora was going to win because that's heel versus heel. So I figured one of the babyfaces is going to win the match. I was surprised.
Cora needs a win though. Cora does need a win though.
She does. That's why I think she's not. I know some people like to see her call up. I think she's going to stay in NXT a little bit longer because she missed a year. She's a little bit behind. They need to kind of help build her back up a bit.
Right. I found the video that you were talking about. Here we go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you can see like you know, you can see that
She's starting to get a little emotional there at the end.
because you know it's like she loves wrestling, she loves this business, and you know that the fact that WWE believes in her, that you know she's only been wrestling there since October, November, December. It's like within like 3 months she's NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah.
You know, it's like with Ethan Page. Like Ethan Page, like I was shocked that Ethan Page within like a month of his debut, he's NXT champion.
If you want to pivot to it, we can, because his little segment with The Rock, I was never having on my bingo card.
No, that was awesome, and he's a huge fan of The Rock, so that must have meant so much to him to have a segment with The Rock, and it made sense because so you know his character and the way he treats Ava. I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm the final boss, but she's the final boss.
Yeah, it's like that's my daughter. You better listen to her.
That's the first time in a while that I've heard Ava kind of skip over her words, because she's like, "Shit, I'm doing a segment with my dad." Like, you could tell, like she was trying to be professional, but also be like,
I can see it.
"Oh my god, I'm doing."
I can see the excitement that it's like a little bit.
There was a couple parts that she was stumbling over her words, that she's like looking at it, like they're both looking at each other, and she's just like, "Come on, Ava, hold it together.
Yeah,
we've got this."
Yeah. That was a nice moment between the two of them. No, and also Ethan put out a video where he was like, he was like that was awesome. The Rock complimented me. Man, like that's gonna be a hell of a feud with him when Javon gets back in the ring.
Yeah.
I love how they're selling that he's his jaw's all messed up and everything.
And speaking of The Rock, they only gave him he only had like 6 minutes to do a promo, but he thought he was going to drop an F-bomb on Netflix when you can get away with it. Nah, he's going to do it on NXT on CW. And I did, and people,
although people that were CW, that when they put up the clip online, it's unedited.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the swear words are not bleeped out.
You effing bitches. But I enjoyed his little jab, but also too, it's just like, come on, Rock, just say what you're saying. Just say what you wanted to say. We're just making it up as we go. That's what you're doing. I thought you learned your lesson from the last time you tried to do some stuff, but you're The Rock. You're always going to make me smile.
I love how he first he took shots at all the people bitching about.
Yeah,
when he was
why you so mean to Cody? And now, why can't you be mean to Cody? Like, I get it.
Yeah,
but also too, just like, can you just like, but you're mean to Cody because you tried to literally make yourself the main event of WrestleMania when everyone wanted Cody. You at least, and then from you pivoting, which was one of the biggest pivots and one of the best pivots in all of wrestling, to go with the Cody and get the final boss story and get the final boss character, which is still one of the best iterations of the Rock character.
Right.
That's probably the best heel work that he's ever done since like maybe the Nation stuff.
Yeah, but I love how he shifted it to putting over the NXT roster and the talent there.
Yep.
Talking about like, you know, a few years from now, some of these boys and girls back there could be main event in WrestleMania. Yep. Yeah, I believe it.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to Julia and Stephanie. You know, it's like
but he had a great match.
It's like
Finn, yes.
One other thing before we get to the other side. I was like I didn't realize it until it was happening, but when we got to the 6-1 tag, I'm like, they're doing all the first 3 hours nothing but women's matches. It's like Sean was showing off the strength of the NXT Women's Division again on the show, and
that's why. And I like why you made that point, because I was going to make it too. He was showing off the strength of the women's division, which is the strongest women's division of all of wrestling, of all of any brand. Mm-hmm. And Roxanne Perez has been carrying that bitch. Mm-hmm. And that is why she has cemented herself as a made woman.
Yep.
Yeah. So, just another reason why I'm going to give my little 2 cents and give my little flowers to Roxanne.
That was fine. I figured the baby faces win. I was very like surprised when Shotzi pinned Fallon. I was like, then when she did the second, we're like, yo, Ava, how about I should get a title shot? I just pinned her tonight. It's like, where's my title shot? And I love how Stephanie was like immediately like, I just beat 3 of the best women in this division to earn my title shot. Don't get like, what are you trying to step in front of my line? I love that. Stephanie was like, Stephanie Becker was like, excuse me.
Yeah, and the best up and coming female right now wasn't even on the show, which is wasn't featured in a match, which is Ren Sinclair. Like that's how deep this division is.
Yeah.
It's because I think she has
since Chase U dissolved either.
Don't. I was getting ready to not bring her up just to get depressed again. But,
yeah, I'm like wondering where the hell she is.
Yeah, because Ren Sinclair she just has that little special something.
She really impressed me in the women's Iron Survivor match, so I'm hoping they're going to give her more.
Yeah, but I want Thea Hale back. I do.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if OTM is going to take the titles off for Axiom, but I like that they're trying to hype them up. So,
they're doing something because you're talking about the best tag team of 2024.
And then of course, knew it was going to happen. A lot of people thought maybe Eddie was in there to eat the pin, but no, he pinned Trick. He pinned Trick to win the title. Owen Femi is now the master and ruler of NXT. This is going to be.
Do you agree with GIF in our Discord of Oba's going to the main roster? I mean, not Oba, but I mean Trick's going to the main roster. Is he ready?
I don't know if he's like 100% ready.
He's not. But what else are you going to do with him? What else he has to learn? Like I think this is who you're getting. At this point.
That's why I think it's very possible that he's getting called up as well. Besides Roxanne, because he's won the NXT Championship twice. He's really over. He's gotten good in the ring. He's not like mind blowing great, but he's good.
He's not mellow.
He's got the aura.
He oozes.
Even I love how even Corey's like, it's like we talk like Julius got what the kids say today is aura. That's like I laughed. I was like,
yeah.
Oh, by the way, very interesting choice that Corey's moved to NXT, but I don't mind it. Could use a little counteractive for Booker because it's like it's like Booker can be a little bit much sometimes. So
I'm never gonna say Booker's bad, but Corey's a little bit better.
Yeah,
yeah,
and plus I get that they didn't want to mess with the Wade and Joe chemistry, just the two of them. So I'm fine with Wade and Joe being on SmackDown.
Yeah, because that was the one thing I was worried about. I was like, they go over there, Corey, but they've cemented themselves as such a good tandem.
So it'll be very interesting. Is it gonna with Corey on the NXT broadcast team going forward here for a while? So
yeah,
I don't mind it. I like Corey, so I think it's a positive. I saw Meltzer say it was a demotion. I'm like, fuck you, Meltzer. So like, it's not a demotion. It's like.
No, and Corey, and it has nothing against Corey. Like
Corey,
you break glass. Corey's gonna break glass in case of emergency. Corey's right there. Like Corey Graves has been the most consistent, color in what for like 7 years.
Yeah, for years. Wade has really gotten there.
Wade, because Wade basically was the training wheels to Joe. You can't break that up. It's the same thing with McAfee and Cole. Like Cole is his best when McAfee is with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. Wade is his best because of Joe, and Joe is just this good because of Wade.
They got the chemistry really quick,
and so when you throw because even when it was that one when they did the trio of Corey, Wade, and Cole, it just didn't work. Like it was fine, but it just didn't have the same that we have with.
Boosts are always tricky. So for NXT, I don't mind it because last time they did a three-person booth was Mauro, Nigel, and Beth Phoenix, and I thought they were great together. Those three. So I'm good with Corey being on NXT for the time being. But yeah, it's That was a very well done thing with having Oba and Julia up at the top of the ramp and holding up the titles. It's signaling it's a new year and it's a new era in NXT, boys and girls.
All you women on the main roster,
look out!
Look out!
It's coming soon. The prodigy is coming.
Because you better enjoy you better take every sleep you can and enjoy
Charlotte.
it.
Look out, Becky.
You better keep one eye open.
Yep.
Because that 5-foot ball of adrenaline, that known as the prodigy, the golden goose, the greatest thing since ever in the female wrestling world, is coming to the main roster, and she's taking every which one of you out. And then you're going to thank her for it.
Yeah.
Great show.
It was an excellent show. It's like the matches maybe could have gotten a little more time because the Rock without the Rock being there, but they were still very good. And then the Lexus King too. It's like there was title changes all over the show.
That was the best I've seen Alexis.
That match was really good, and for the time I had, and once again, it was like, was that an accident or not? It's like
it's not the Big Show Rock situation or the John Cena Batista situation. I don't know.
I'm liking what they're doing with Lexus King, and the fans were into that match, so he's getting over.
No, and this is what we were saying. Like a lot of with him and Eddie Thorpe, it just didn't work. It didn't. And now
Dempsey,
yeah, and you put him with Charlie Dempsey, it's working. You put Eddie Thorpe in the main in the main event card, it's work. This is the best Eddie Thorpe's ever looked, because this is what you were trying to do with Ridge, and it didn't. Eddie, it just made sense at the end.
It also it feels like they're setting up Metaphor to get a shot at the tag titles, because I have a feeling they're probably going to be an Unholy Union next week. I assume that's what the match was that Isla Dawn got with set up. So it's like I'm happy for all the new champions, especially Julia and Julia Obafemi. They've earned it. It's going to be fun to see how their runs with Tile go. Oba's going to be wrecking people for a while, man.
We said it. We said it when Oba lost to Tony D'Angelo. It's like Oba's the face of the men's division.
As soon as he lost the title to Tony D, I was like, well, he's going to be NXT champion very soon.
Yeah, his run with the NXT, it's like one thing. It's like when Roxanne's heel run is exactly what Oba's NXT title, NXT US NXT title run was, to be like, oh yeah, you're that dude. She was showing she's that girl. Yeah, that there's certain things when someone's like, all right, let's see what you do with it, and then you do what you did, you propel yourself to a different level, and that's what Roxanne and Oba have done.
Yeah.
So let's see if Julia can do that. We know she got the in-ring work, and she knows she has the aura, but can she put it all together?
Yep. That's why she went to NXT first. She's continuing to improve her English, and she's mentioned so. And same with Stephanie too. And it's like they're definitely. I can tell they're both getting more comfortable with speaking English.
I mean, I realize why they're in NXT, even though I think they're main roster ready. Yeah. As far as Stephanie and Julia. That's what I'm saying. But I understand why they're in NXT, because they just need to get a feel of how the WWE works.
Yeah, because God, like I said, Julia and Stephanie go to the main roster. Look out, man.
Which I know we're almost at 2 hours and 10 minutes. Yeah. I will end with this question as far as new wrestlers in the WWE. How do you think they're going to book Penta?
I think they're going to book him right, because I trust Triple H more than I trust Vince.
Okay. Because that's the thing, is you're talking about language.
Having Chad having Chad be the first opponent is a smart move because him and Chad Gable can have a banger.
It's you know what's kind of weird about this? I just now realized, like, Rey Mysterio's first big feud when he came to WWE was Kurt Angle.
Yep.
Penta's first match against Chad Gable. That's kind of eerily odd.
Yeah.
That's how it all kind of worked out. Because Ray is like the best luchador, but Penta is... what Penta's done over the body of his work is what I'm saying.
So, it's exciting times. Quick note, quick TNA note. I was following TNA while we were doing the show. Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard is now official for Genesis. They had a big brawl on tonight.
Just let me know when Joe Hendry wins the title.
That's the other thing. It's like Joe Hendry's challenging Nick Nemeth again for the title. Better win this time. This card is actually looking like I think I might actually check this show out because it's like
and you got the Hardys. The Hardys in the
Rascals. You got Rascals versus Hardys. That's going to be dope. They just made TNA Knockouts Championship match, Masha Slamovich versus Rosemary in a Clockwork Orange match, and that's thanks to Raven of all people who suggested to Rosemary because he showed up on Impact TV tonight, TNA. Sorry, nice. Hanging out with Rosemary, and he suggested she go take a page out of his playbook and use Clockwork Orange rules. They just added the Tessa Blanchard, Jordan Grace, and Josh Alexander versus Mike Santana. That's pretty dope. TNA Genesis looked like a pretty dope card. But obviously Jordan is putting Tessa over before she leaves. It's like Tessa's going to win that match.
Yeah, Tessa's going to win that match. Well, Justin,
they had a great pull apart brawl. I watched some of it during one of my recap breaks. I was like, oh yeah, they were trying to destroy each other. It's like it was good.
What could have been if Tessa Blanchard wasn't such a allegedly bad person? What could have been?
Oh yeah, she'd be killing it in WWE by now.
I mean, her and Rhea. Oh God,
her and Charlotte would have had a mania.
Her and anybody like Tessa's in ring.
Yeah,
it sucks that how bad she allegedly. Yeah. I always say allegedly because I mean it's all been scuttlebutt. Nothing's been proven, but no one's denied it either.
Yeah,
but and her as far as her as a wrestler,
she's great.
She's great.
So obviously, it's like this is a rehabilitation run into TNA to prove that she's changed. Things are different, and then see if AEW or WWE or both can call it. I think probably more likely WWE, just because of her pedigree, or being a second generation, all that. Same like Charlotte, daughter of a horseman. It's like they're not. It's like if they feel that they can trust her, they're gonna do her versus Charlotte at Mania at some point.
Yeah,
because you got to do it.
Yeah, this is Tessa's Shawn Michaels' second run. It's like, all right, you said you changed, but
let's see it, prove it.
Yeah, but unfortunately, Shawn could get away with that back in the day, where Tessa can't, where Tessa couldn't. But,
well, the difference was Shawn. It said, made amends with people, and it's like, I was an asshole,
and she never apologized. Apparently,
no, she hasn't
apologized. So that's the problem.
Hasn't issued any kind of public apology about this stuff, the way she treated people, or the things she said that people said she said. So that's the difference. I mean, heck, Ian Brett buried the hatchet, and it's like they're cool now. So
yeah. So, but another great show, other than the fact that we had to talk about Roxanne losing. Yeah. But whatever. Not whatever.
The future is bright for the
future. The future is so bright for
the Prodigy.
Future's bright for the Prodigy, which means it's bright for all of you casual fans trying to get into wrestling. Mm-hmm. Check out Roxanne Perez. She's going to take the world by storm, and I cannot wait for the AJ Lee match. I'm going to will it into happening. I'm going to will it. It's got to happen.
I just hope you don't have like a Fred Sanford heart attack when it's announced.
Oh, dude, we're definitely doing a live watch along. If that match happens, we're doing it. Just mark it. if Roxanne and AJ actually have a match, and then I'm just gonna be like, please God, be good. Like that's all, because it's AJ has been in the ring in forever. But anyway, we are, again, like we were saying about watch-alongs, we are going to be going live for the Royal Rumble on February 1st. So we're going to tune in live for that one.
6 p.m. Eastern time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we'll be going live for that one. And also check us in on some other...
There's a lot of intrigue. I mean, the Women's Rumble is... There's a lot of different ways that could go.
But the men's, I think, is John Cena.
Yeah, he's definitely one of the favorites. I don't know if he'll win, but
that's such a good "I'm going to win the Royal Rumble" promo. And even if he doesn't, it's still I wasn't expecting.
I don't know if he'll win. He may win. He's definitely one of the favorites. He's definitely going to be in the 5-4. He's going to make it to the end.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely. Why would you not have seen the 5-4 on that?
There's a lot of interesting possibilities of who could win. It's not as super predictable as other years have been when it comes to, especially the women's. The women's could go a couple different ways. So, and we got Cody versus KO ladder match. The Rumble matches and the ladder match are the only stuff that's confirmed on the show so far. We don't know if we're going to get another non-Rumble match just yet, but we'll see. We only got like a few weeks left, and also they also got to load up Saturday night's main event as well. So, which is the week before. So,
just keep like, subscribe, ring the doorbell, because we got a lot of great wrestling coming down the hatch.
Off to a great start.
Great start. Well, not a great start. Okay, not a greatest start. Right? Not the best.
It's okay. It's okay. But think about it. All three brands' major women's titles changed hands within a week.
Yeah.
It's
and also, non-wrestling related, but congratulations to Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame for making the national championship. They defeated Penn State tonight.
I got that part of my bracket right.
There you go.
I had them in the title game.
And also, Marcus Freeman becoming the first African-American coach to play for a national championship.
Wow.
So
I'm surprised it's taking that long.
Well, yeah, but it was inevitable because James Franklin was the Penn State coach. So either one, it was going to be the first African-American. Marcus Freeman gets that part in history. So there you go. So congratulations to Notre Dame. Yeah, you've never been good before, but you were playing for the national championship on that. But that's not what we're here about. But I still want to at least give that shout out to them. Was they do
I have
that?
a lot of family members who are diehard Fighting Irish, so I know they're probably very happy right now.
Hey, the movie Rudy made a lot of people Fighting Irish fans, even though they didn't know it. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about wrestling. And you know what we can do? You can like, subscribe, hit that bell. Mm-hmm. Also, we have other shows that we have here on the Ruckus channel.
Check them out, baby.
Yep, with Fantasy F Around, we'll be coming back periodically, but mainly right now we got going forward. We got Justin and I coming here every Thursday, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, to break down everything that is wrestling. Depending on what Roxanne Perez is doing, I will be either happy or sad. Either one. Just figure it out. And then whatever Julie is doing, Justin will be happy or sad. I don't know. Figure it out. Or Tiffy. We're in between. But once Becky comes back, Justin's going to be in a real situation of who he cares about.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to be very happy when the man returns.
Yes. We all will be happy when the man returns with that. And then we also have Soul's Book Club coming up. So everyone tune in for that series that we're doing. Mondays with Maury, I believe, is the book.
Tuesdays with Maury.
I got my day of the week wrong by a day. It was the M thing.
We got Raw in the brain. It's all right.
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah, it's true. Tuesdays with Maury is our book of the month that we are doing. So if you all would love to be a part of that and that show, join the Discord. The link is down below for that. And we talk about anything, any and everything there. Also, our bracket bitches. Obviously, we were alluding to the Notre Dame stuff, and Justin said, I was going to say Jordan Grace. Justin said about he got that right with Notre Dame. So we'll be doing that tomorrow with telling everybody how their bracket is doing. And then the NFL is getting ready to kick off for their playoff as well. So tune in for that. And then me and my buddies get together. We play Divinity Original Sin, and we're trying to get done with it so we can play Baldur's Gate 3. But hopefully by the time we get done with that, Baldur's Gate 3 will be more than just 20% off.
Maybe by the time you guys get to it, the next patch will be out, it's going to have more options for the classes.
Yeah. We're gonna take a break between the role playing and be more action based. I know that we're talking about doing that, but we're gonna finish out Divinity. We're almost done with Act 3, I believe, in Divinity. And I finally figured out that when you look at your missions, if it has a flag next to it, you can click on the mission and then click on go to map, and it'll literally tell you where that mission is. Did not know that for about the past 70 hours of gameplay. So, you figure that that's another thing I like about Divinity. It just says, here's the game, go. It really doesn't hold your hand with it. So that's another thing I like about that. But yeah, if anything else, Justin's always a pleasure doing this weekly with you to talk about the world of wrestling. It never gets old. It's always fun. No matter how bad the wrestling is or how great the wrestling is, it's always a pleasure talking with you about it. And if anyone else out there, comment down below. Tell us what you are hoping to see in 2025 as far as the world of wrestling and what you hope to see in the future. That being said, we thank you all for joining us. We always do. It's always a pleasure. And we will see you all next time.
Sayonara.